Hey folks, it's Crystal. Long time no see. I'm being held here against my will. Help me, please! I was made to watch a movie and write down notes by Tommy NC 2010! And to do that thing that we do. Uh-oh! Movie review!
Tribute to the Ultimate Warrior.
Your glasses are in.
3D effect. I wish it was. There it is. 3D cameras, Crystal. By the way, I do that. I know a guy that Vlogging Montana knows. The guy we got drunk with that one night.
There's 3D cameras.
Yes, there's 3D cameras. The guy was at Vlogger Fair. He's a fan of Vlogging Montana. And whoa,
that's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. He's a pretty cool guy. I'm actually going to Vlogger Fair August the 16th.
Nice.
Yes.
A nice birthday present for you.
So why are we here, folks? And why, suddenly me and Crystal are back together and
for a very belated or overdue episode of
movie review. You mind if I lead it off, or do you want to lead it off?
Go for it.
Today we were here to lead off Hancock. Yes, Hancock, the drunken version of Superman. The guy doesn't want to be a superhero, but he does everything wrong. He flies around and he's going after
the anti-superhero.
He's the anti-superhero, and he's flying around, he's doing all this stuff and causing mayhem. People hate him, and a kid even wakes him up and he's like, hey, you see that? Bad guys, that's what you're supposed to do, bada bing, bada boom. And he's just like, go off, kid. And the kid's like, F you.
Yeah, he gets called an asshole like 500 times in this movie.
Yes.
So Hancock's an old movie. We usually do pretty old movies. We pick it random. But I actually already had this movie in my collection. I hadn't seen it in a while, so we just went with it. I think that this is a really good one to review because I have really mixed emotions about this movie. I'm really disappointed in what it was versus what it could have been.
Yeah.
Because it's a great premise for a superhero movie. It's really original, a relatable character. Will Smith was a great choice. I love that the guy's an alcoholic.
Like in West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground, they almost switched. I never do that.
But so this is it's really realistic. It would be a realistic personal repercussions of somebody who really lived this life if they were if they had a drinking problem. Of course, they're going to be really lonely. They're the only person like themselves. It's great. It's great, and I love that he's an alcoholic, and then he's always he's flying drunk. He's flying through the sky with a whiskey bottle in his hand. It's funny. It's really
anybody
funny.
would want to do that.
But they really they get lazy towards the end.
Yeah.
Some parts seem very thrown together, and so there's a lot of things that just really don't make any sense. There's some physics in this movie that don't make any sense.
Asshole.
Out to see the
asshole.
The scene where he throws the kid up in the air and catches him. If you know what I'm talking about, the blonde kid who was Mike Myers, by the way.
Yes.
The more recent movie.
I was surprised that Crystal caught that because I wasn't aware that Crystal watched horror movies.
I saw that one. That one was I had to see the beginning. But yeah. So that kid obviously would have died. You can't throw somebody so far up in the air that it literally takes them 10 seconds to come back down and just catch them like this. He would have broken his neck. He would have been dead.
Insides
he would have been very dead. Yes.
Insides would have exploded by the time Hancock caught him, and he would have snapped his neck, and
yes.
Arms would have split, and in the insides, your insides would literally implode.
It's great to have people when I say stuff like this. I say stuff like this a lot. People call me a hater on movies. Oh, why you gotta make a big deal about that? Why you gotta split hairs? Why you gotta don't be a hater? Because it's cool to have this fantastical, situation where somebody's a superhero. That's cool. But you're still a superhero on this planet Earth, and everybody else is a regular person on this planet Earth. Our physics still operate the same way. Gravity is the same. Centrifugal force is the same. You can't just make physics of the world up as you go along just because the movie is fantastical or because there's a superhero in the movie. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the scene in almost the very beginning when the girl was at his trailer.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one was amazing. The ejaculation.
Well, let's back up a little bit and explain to the people. First of all, he takes a girl back to his trailer.
She hits on him. He's at a bar.
She's coming on to him very strong because he's who he is. And the first, when they're supposed to be getting at it, even though neither one of them even have their clothes off, if you noticed, Hancock had his pants on and his shirt on, she had her dress on. There was actually no sign whatsoever that they were going to have sex or did have sex. It was very strange.
There's chances for penetration with women. Anyway,
well, yeah, of course, duh, but who would do that? Nobody would do that. Yeah,
tell
me, we know. Anyway, so the trailers start to, they start rocking so much. This is a trailer. This is a home, and it's rocking so much that it would just be impossible. This girl would have been bruised and bloodied and dead for him to rock this trailer this hard, and even you couldn't rock a car this hard. And then he warns her that at the moment of truth or whatever that she needs to watch out. So he throws her off of him, and all you see is pew, 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 like bullets being shot through the roof of the trailer. This is just silly. This is just silly.
Now, first of all, it's ejaculation. But the thing is, can you imagine being an astronaut in outer space and flying around, and it's like, Houston, I am going to make the connector. Houston, I'm coming up here. Houston. Houston, there's a form of goo, nastiness goo on me. Houston, I don't know what's going on here.
Even bullets will lose their speed. I don't think they go into outer space. Huh? But yeah, it was just really silly. Who says that needs to happen that way? And if it did, so I guess every time he masturbates, he just pokes holes in his house. He's constantly having to fix his roof. I don't know. It was just, here, let's just throw that in there for the sake of a laugh, which wasn't even funny.
Got me laughing, but
Well, yeah, that doesn't count.
Oh, really?
You have to know. You have to know what's funny and whatever. But that doesn't make any sense in the context of the film. It's just thrown in there for an easy dud of a laugh, in my opinion. Just kind of like the jail scene. Okay, so Hancock gets sent to jail. He allows them to put him in jail. Obviously, he cannot be held captive. He can leave at any time.
You're forgetting one thing.
They illustrate that in the movie.
The guy goes and steps in. He saves. You see, in the midst of this, guy's trying to sell a product. He's trying to sell this thing to have businesses give stuff for free, and he wants to help people.
This is Jason Bateman's character.
Jason Bateman's character, Arrested Development. He plays the guy that is all together, and his family is screwed up.
So he's trying to help Hancock. Hancock saves his life. Jason Bateman's character sort of stands up for him in the crowd because nobody likes the guy. Because he's a drunken asshole most of the time. Yes. His help isn't that helpful. And so Jason Bateman's trying to be like, this is how you can get people to like you. This is my job. I will teach you how to get people to like you.
The YouTube videos.
So he allows himself to be taken to jail because rightfully that is where he would belong. Yes. That's where he would be if he was a normal person. So while he's in jail, number one, everybody knows who Hancock is. So these random prisoners, I guess, who don't like him, I'm assuming because he may have put them in jail.
Yes, most of them.
Just surround him. And at first it's like, why would you do that? He could kill you all with one finger, and you're fucking with him. That doesn't make any sense. Number one. And then so as another joke, he literally shoves one guy's head up the other guy's ass, literally. And so there's a scene where there's a struggle, and we're supposed to be laughing again.
This is how big the asshole's supposed to be right here. Now here's huh? What? Now here I'm just demonstrating here. Now this is a normal guy's head right here. We'll take my head, and here's the size of an asshole, and say you got this much noggin going up a guy's asshole. Can you imagine?
He would be hemorrhaging. He'd be bleeding to death. He would be muscle and organ ripping, maybe even bones breaking. Who knows if somebody's skull could even
implode?
And he would be suffocating pretty soon after. And then there's a scene towards the end where they kind of they go back to that. They reference that scene. And this guy is who got the guy whose head was shoved up the guy's ass. He's got a neck brace on, and the other guy is just sort of shamed. Yeah, haha, funny, but it's not funny.
No, it's not.
It's cheap. It's cheap, and it doesn't make sense. It could be. You can make things funny. It's fine to make things funny. It doesn't have to be serious, but it does need to be within reason. It needs to be logical. It needs to make sense. and it doesn't make any sense. Literally, physically, it doesn't make any sense. And I don't like things like that. That's just me personally. I don't like it. What do they call that? Slapstick?
Slapstick comedy, Three Stooges, I would say.
Not a big fan of slapstick comedy, to be honest.
You didn't like the Three Stooges growing up?
I never watched it growing up.
Really?
But from what I've seen of it, I mean, I'll have to actually watch it before I can make any judgment. But maybe the Three Stooges actually did it right, which what I've heard they actually did do it right. So I'm not going to hate on Three Stooges.
Maybe rest in peace.
This kind of slapstick within this context done this way, I don't like it. It's very childish. But so then enters the whole Charlize Theron's character. She ends up being another one of these gods or whatever. Once the cat's out of the bag with her, which they let it out of the bag pretty much the second her character is in the movie. They make this weird eye contact, and even there's supposed to be this cool twist at the end, that there could have been a cool twist at the end, but they ruined it for the audience because there's obvious tension there from the get-go for no reason that you understand. You just basically they're telling the audience right away, hey, expect something to go on here. Then you're like, okay, well then you're not surprised when you see that it does. So why does she throw the damn fridge out the window?
And that's the thing.
She actually pushes him through the refrigerator.
What's funny is that the guy they just gone out for a drink because Hancock has turned over a new leaf. He's becoming a good guy, and he's going out to dinner. And he's having a good time, and the guy gets really drunk. But Hancock has a bunch of drinks, but he's just fine. So Hancock takes him back here, and he takes his shoes off, and he goes downstairs with his wife, and they lock. It's like this romantic scene because
there's this little tense scene where they sort of like touch hands and they slowly kiss, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just grabs him, spins him around, throws him through the refrigerator. Both Hancock and the refrigerator go out the house and land in the street, and then she walks out there and says, "If you tell anybody about me, I'll kill you." And it's like, nobody knew anything. If you didn't have to do that. You did it out of nowhere just to create this suspense.
Yes.
And it's lazy. It's lazy writing. You know, you can have this suspense, you can have that happen, but it needs to be realistic where people can relate to it emotionally. That is not how people interact with each other.
Oh, and
that
just
is not how things happen. And
just to make what happens, because he wakes up and next thing you know, there's a gigantic hole through the house, and he comes down and he's just like, well, there's a gigantic hole. And
he says it's because Hancock sneezed. Which is an okay lie for the movie, considering that, you know, if they were going to do what they did. But still, it was... And everything that happens after that point with her character and his character is just... It gets more and more lazy, more and more thrown together. The end, everything about the end is just... Excuse me. It's rushed, thrown together... Seems like it's made up as it goes along. It's lazy. And there's like, you know, did they get kind of cocky because they had Will Smith and Charlize Theron? Like, look at these big stars we've got, and we got a cool CG, and we got a cool idea, so let's just hurry up and get it out there. Let's just get it out there, because that's how movies are made.
One of my main thoughts is when movies have such high class stars like Will Smith and Charlize Theron, when they have such good actors like that, and also they have Mr. Big Bang, you know, the guys from Mr. Big Bang Theory, which they hardly show him in a few scenes, but they clump all these good actors together, and they're just like, at the beginning the writing was kind of good, but then it's just like somebody said, "Oh, we're sick and tired of writing this movie. Can we have some?" It went
downhill quickly. There were a few little moments where it's like there was a transition, and there was a transition till the end. That was just.
And somehow they're gods. Like they're saying that they've been around for years and years.
Well, they didn't explain it. That's the thing. She and he are apparently 3,000 years old. He doesn't remember anything before 80 years ago because he got hit on the head and has amnesia. She does remember their life together, and they are supposed to be a pair. And there were all these other pairs that were just like them, but they're all dead. She says that they're all dead twice, I think. Never says why. Never gives us even an inkling of an idea of why that happened. So what do we care? It's lazy. And then they were together for all that time, And she gives there's 3 scenarios that she's talking to him about while he's in the hospital. This one scene towards the end, and she's just like, yeah, this one time in blah 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 BC, and this one time in 1809 this happened, and da da da. And you're like, so what? If the only backstory that you're going to give us is that you're both 3,000 years old, and these are 3 things that happened in the 3,000 years, there's so much history there, but we don't give a shit about it. Because you're not making us give a shit about it. So what do we care about your relationship? What do we care about whether or not you die or he dies or whatever? There's no, heart in it.
Krystle, I want to compare this movie to a better movie than this movie. The Dark Knight, the Batman series, when it first started up, and we had it took them a whole hour just to explain the whole idea. We knew what Batman was, but it took them a whole hour just to explain, Bruce Wayne's parents were shot, that he put himself to a criminal race and had to become this, sub-power to become this. Why couldn't, a few $1,000, why couldn't you just shown those scenes, and then at a period of time, you zoom into the part where Hancock's laying on the bench? That would have been enough, but you know what? It's called laziness.
It is, and it's rushed, and you're taking something that is complicated. Yes, this is a complicated character. Most superheroes are complicated. They come from another world. They're not human, so you have to create a story that is inhuman, and therefore it's complicated. So if the Hancock there could have easily been a sequel to this movie.
Yes.
But in the first Hancock, they really should have just focused on him being a drunk superhero who's a jerk. He finds this friend who helps him out, and, he goes to jail without all the hokey bull crap, and yes, he gets better, and then he fights crime, and he helps people the way that he ought to. There's still comedy, there's still action, have a real villain, not like the stupid villain that they kind of sort of had in the movie.
Filler, in my opinion.
Yeah, that more lazy filler.
More lazy filler.
But a real villain, and then end it there.
Yes.
And even keep the ending of the real movie, the real ending of the movie, where he puts the logo on the moon for the guy.
To help him out. And
then the sequel could have been, oh, there's another person. And then you could have really delved into the entire 3,000-year-long history of what they did, and have it not be Ray. That's the guy's name, right? That was the character's name. Jason Bateman's character was Ray. Have it not be his wife. Charlize Theron is his wife. Let's have it be another woman.
Yes.
So there's not this conflict that we don't need, because we like Ray, we like Charlize Theron's character, we like Will Smith, and we're creating this unneeded conflict. The second movie could have been about, hey, he finds this woman, hey, then we'll delve into the history, and that could be a completely other movie. But you cannot try to take all these little details and cram them into an hour and a half. And it really shows.
Yes.
And it's too bad, because this was a really original, cool idea that could have been like a cult classic.
Did Hancock come from I'm curious. I never knew if there was exactly. Did it come from a comic book or anything? Because most superhero ideas like this come from comic books. Mm-hmm. Now I'm wondering if anybody in the comments could
I want to say no, but I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I certainly never heard of Hancock before the movie, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily.
But basically what we have to say about Hancock. Hancock is a movie that it definitely has the word you say, hand and cock. Hancock. Double entendre right there.
Well, it is not a horrible movie. It's entertaining.
Yes.
It's definitely got some legitimate laughs in the first half, but once it starts going south, it goes south pretty quickly, and the specialness that it has goes away, and so yeah, I mean it's definitely a bit disappointing, but it's it's not going to kill you to watch it twice.
No.
Unlike some movies that might actually kill
Food
you
Fight?
if you watch them. Like Food Fight.
Oh God, don't even. Oh God, I can't believe I just mentioned.
If you don't know, I had no idea what Food Fight was.
No, I didn't.
You
either.
may not know what Food Fight is, but Nostalgia Critic, Doug Walker's Nostalgia Critic reviewed Food Fight. You should check it out.
Fetish film. That's
it's
all I have to say.
That guy with the glasses.
.com. That guy
on
with
there. Food Fight.
Shout out to the Nostalgia Critic. He probably doesn't even watch my videos.
I love Nostalgia Critic. He got me caught on to fancy that. I'm addicted to nostalgia.
I'm a Nostalgia Critic because he was the least entertaining thing besides my videos, and Krystle started listening to this guy, and it was Demolition. No, it was not Demolition Man. It was Demolition Man 2. No, it was the Judge.
That was Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
See, I don't remember. I don't think I ever saw the original Judge Dredd, so I wasn't really interested in that. But I saw that he had done so many other movies, and I started watching him, and I was like, wow, this guy's like, he's right up my alley. He gets passionately pissed off about bad movies, and I always agree with him. I'm like, yeah, that really is stupid. Anyway,
Can
food
I keep
fight.
you? What did he just
That's
say?
a mind fuck right there.
But just to say, folks, also, big no-brainer, biggest surpriser. Guess May the 16th, Godzilla comes out.
Yeah.
Me and Krystle, and maybe me and some other people are gonna get together and go see the new Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston. Yes, Walter White, Breaking Bad. Everybody knows it. But the thing is that this one is amazing because Godzilla is humongous, and they make it more complicated. So, folks, that review is going to be coming out after we see it. But I'm on the edge of my seat, and everybody, fans are exploding everywhere. You know, just to see this movie. They keep putting teasers out, they keep putting trailers out, but I have to say,
I love Bryan Cranston. I love the idea of giant lizards. Godzilla's great. I hope that it is good. I could easily be crap.
and I'm hoping that it's not like 1998's Abortion.
You mean the Matthew Broderick
That's a lot of fish.
disaster?
Nostalgia
Critic also does that movie.
It's the topless. It's the top.
Whatever.
So, folks, this is movie review. We review movies.
So we have nothing else better to do.
And we'll catch you later, folks. This has been movie review.